the liberals in Washington had better start listening to the American people instead of lecturing us. And I've had the privilege of traveling around this country in this last year and meeting the good men and women who actually run this country, the small business owners, those who grow our food, and those who fight our wars for us and teach our children and run our factories. And, you know, a whole lot of us, those who still cling to their guns and religion. And when I talk to these good Americans, when I talk to them, you know, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about our future. I am optimistic. Because if you know where to look, there are signs of real hope across this country. Everyday Americans working so hard to get us back on track. And patriots who are standing up and speaking out. And neighbors who are helping one another get through these tough times. And entrepreneurs and small businesses who are working hard to grow our economy, one job, one paycheck, one American dream at a time. In spite of what government is doing to our small businesses, they are still trying to rebuild. And a lot of common sense conservative candidates are putting it all on the line in 2010 in order to get our country back on the right track. And believe it or not, there are even some hopeful signs in Washington where there are still some common sense conservative leaders who know that we cannot spend our way out of these problems. Leaders who are not afraid to make tough choices because they believe in what Ronald Reagan said, that there are no easy answers, but there are simple answers. We just need the courage to do what we know is morally right. And in that spirit, I applaud those in Congress who stood firm against Obamacare right up to the very end. They understand that to get our country back on the right track, our economy roaring again, we need to cut spending, not simply stall the spending spree that we've been on. What kind of quasi-spending freeze led by Barack Obama, what kind of spending freeze do you think that's going to look like after they've jacked up the budget to these record levels and then, we're going to freeze it right there for a couple of special programs? No, we need to cut spending, see real cuts. We need to cut taxes so our families can keep more of what they earn and our mom and pops can reinvest in our businesses. If our small businesses could keep more of what we earn, what we produce, we can reinvest, we can hire more people, and that's how our economy can get back to life. We need to cut the corporate federal tax and simplify the tax code. And we need to get competition into health care and tackle our debt and our long-term deficit. And we need to jumpstart energy projects. What a ridiculous position America is in today, relying on foreign countries to produce energy for us when we have the resources right here underfoot. Let's pave the way for proven conventional resource development and nuclear power and clean coal technology and offshore drilling, instead of paying hundreds and hundreds of billions of your U.S. dollars going to foreign regimes, some of these foreign regimes that do not like America and could cut off supply, as Al-Qaeda targeting Arab oil fields just recently. Just think what that would do to our economy as we become even more beholden to these volatile, dangerous regimes because Congress and those in the White House choose to not allow us to develop our own God-given resources in the United States of America. There is an inherent link between energy and prosperity, between energy and security, and between energy and freedom. We do need to drill here and drill now. Now, those are the kinds of common sense conservative solutions that Americans support. And if the liberals don't have the good sense to listen to the American people, then we're going to find some new leaders who will. Because there is a growing movement sweeping this country, and you're it. This is it. This is beautiful. This is a groundswell of Americans who don't like the cap and tax, socialized medicine, personality as foreign policy agenda of those who are running Washington today. Tea Party Americans, some of the folks in this movement, some of you are registered Republicans. Some of you are what we used to call Reagan Democrats. And some of you are like so many of my friends and my family, including my own husband, just independent, not registered in any party, just true blue-blooded Americans, working hard, loving this country, standing up for what is right, concerned about the path that we are on. We know that our country has some pretty big challenges in front of us. We have big challenges to overcome, but we're still hopeful about America's future because we know that this is the greatest country on earth and her best days are yet to come. We believe that God has shed His grace on thee. This is a very blessed country. So let's not kick God out of our country. We believe, as Lincoln did, that this nation is the last best hope of earth. And we still believe that America is exceptional. And we know that what makes her exceptional is not her politicians, it's her people. And it is the founding principles that they hold dear. When I travel across the country, when I am here today, I see the patriotism and the decency and the dedication of everyday Americans like you. And I know that the dream of Washington and Lincoln and Reagan lives on. In you lies our potential for greatness. In you lies the promise of that more perfect union that we are destined to become. We have a lot of work to do before we get there. And the first task is to restore balance and common sense. And the first test will be at the ballot box in November. We're going to get there, friends, though. We're going to get there because our vision for America is anchored in time-tested truths. That the government that governs least governs best. That the Constitution provides the path to a more perfect union. It's the Constitution. And that only limited government can provide the opportunities for prosperity for all of us equally. And that freedom is a God-given right, and freedom is worth fighting for. And that America's finest are men and women in uniform. They are a force for good throughout this world, and that's nothing to apologize for. If we stick to our principles, we're going to be just fine. Now, when I talk about it's not a time to retreat, it's a time to reload, what I'm talking about... Now, media, try to get this right, okay? That's not inciting violence. What that is doing is trying to inspire people to get involved in their local elections and these upcoming federal elections. It's telling people that their arms are their vote. It's not inciting violence. It's telling people, don't ever let anybody tell you to sit down and shut up, Americans. You stand up and you stand tall. And we're just going to be fine. America is going to be just fine. Keep up the good work if we stick to our principles. So stand up and speak out. Let's get it together, Tea Party America, and let's take back our country. God bless you all.